Why would someone feel dizzy, dry, and have a little bit of a dry cough or a scratchy throat? Oriental medicine paradigm says kidney yin deficiency leads us to the dizziness. This is the same in Western medicine, that we know that kidney disease is often linked to dizziness. And lung yin deficiency, and yin means the fluids, so the fluids are dry. Lung yin deficiency means that the lungs themselves are dry. It's important for the proper moisture to be in the lungs and in the kidneys because they communicate with one another, and because it's their job to disperse energy. And if you're dry and you're not getting the fluid and the energy that you need to bust it out and push that energy out, then you're going to have lung Qi deficiency, and that's going to sound like somebody that's really doesn't have very much energy to talk in their voice, versus someone who has really strong lung Qi and it comes out naturally. So someone who is a great projector. Sorry, I should have warned you to adjust your volume while you were listening to that. So it's quite a complicated presentation, and I wanted to talk to you about it because actually it took me years to find the right pattern differentiation for this. And in Florida, it's really important because we have this damp heat. So it's like we're all in this greenhouse here. Anywhere in the tropics, Texas, the whole southern belt, you're going to get this if you're in Tennessee or you're just anywhere in the South where it's damp and it's hot. And what happens is that greenhouse effect, like it gets really hot, it cloaks you in, and then you burn up the fluids inside. I grew up in Texas, and it was such an experience that I was so accustomed to that I would go for a run or, we'd do something outside and I would sweat. I would never cool off. I would just, you just get hot and wet. So instead of just hot. And later on, I moved to Colorado. And the first time that I was outside and I went for a little bit of a run, which was really hard because I had sea level lungs. So I was like, oh my goodness, this is tough. But the sweat evaporated and I got cooler. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know it could be like this. Such a totally different experience for me. So here I am in Florida now, back in you get hot and then you sweat and then you're just hot and wet, and you don't really ever dry off, and you don't get the evaporative technique that happens at cooler, drier climates. So let's talk about a way that we address this. So here we are in the herb room again. This formula is specific for this yin deficiency plus dampness. It's specifically affecting the upper part of the body, so the lungs and the heart. And here are the ingredients. So the Chinese term for this is Jin Shui Liu Jin Jian. And our ingredients for this are an herb that helps to transform phlegm cold. It is called Ban Sha. You may also know it as Pinellia root. So it resolves phlegm cold. So it's getting rid of the phlegm cold. That means its properties are it's warm and it's spicy and it's actually quite hot. It has this component of toxic to it. So there's special ways that we prepare it to make sure that it's not toxic to the system. And it goes to the lungs, the spleen, and the stomach channels. Chin Pi here's another time that I really wish you could be here and smell this. Because it's orange. It's dried orange peel, one of those ingredients in the lovely Christmas potpourri that they have. So just really, really luscious. It's mandarin orange. There's a few different variations. It can either be tangerine peel or orange peel. So that one, it regulates the qi. It's spicy, bitter, warm, and aromatic. So it's got that lovely scent, and it goes to the lungs, spleen, and stomach. Fu Ling. This is our famous one for draining damp. So helping to get the excess fluid out of the body. Very gentle, but very effective. And it's the China root fungus is what it's called. Or China root Indian bread. So it's sweet and it's bland and it's neutral. By the way, sweet does not mean like sugar sweet. It means like white bread can be a little bit sweet. So that kind of sweet. And it goes to the heart, spleen, and lung channel. So great. We're getting it, we're getting to the heart and to the lungs. Sao. This is honey fried licorice root. It also has a lovely scent. And if you happen to be allergic to licorice, I will just say, or if you have food sensitivity to licorice, let your herbalist know, because licorice root is in almost every Chinese herbal formula. We can custom make them without them, but it's a great harmonizing formula. It goes to all 12 of the channels, so that's why we call it the great harmonizer. It tonifies qi, which one way that this has been described is that it increases blood oxygenation is one way, we can use qi and oxygen. But comprehensively, there's more to the story than that. That's just the bit of the Western paradigm that it fits into that category. And then it's sweet and it's warm. As you might imagine, something that's honey fried might be sweet and warm. Dangui. Here is our Angelica again. It is a tonified blood. So this is the one that is in so many women's health formulas because it's so supportive to the endocrine system and the reproductive system. It's spicy, warm, bitter and sweet, have very distinctive scent. Another time I wish you could smell this. And it goes to the heart, liver, and spleen channel. And then finally, this one, it looks like black as soot, and it's called Qi Gong. This one you might actually also be familiar with. It's Romania root, or foxglove root, and it is a tonify blood. So if it's dark in color, like if you go to the grocery store and you're looking for tonify blood foods, then they're most likely going to be the red foods. The color of the blood is, the foods that are going to tonify the blood. And that is in the category of herbs that help to strengthen like anemia. It doesn't mean that you have to have anemia for this herb to be the right fit for you. It just means your blood's a little bit weak. And it's sweet, slightly warm. It goes to the liver and the kidney and the heart channel. So you can see we really have a special gift in store for the lady who's going to get to work on clearing the dampness at the same time that she's restoring the yin deficiency. It's a bit of an art, those two, because it seems contradictory. It seems like, well, dampness is like wet and moisture. How can you be damp and yin deficient? But just keep in mind that whole, what it's like to live in the tropics in a greenhouse versus what it would be like to be in the mountains of Colorado, and you'll keep it clear in your mind. And so you'll understand that we need to both clear dampness and also tonify those fluids that can get dried up in the body. I love Chinese herbal medicine, the raw herbal forms, because this process allows me to make custom raw herbal formulas. So I can make it very specific for an individual, both the exact herbs that are in it and the dosage, the exact amount of each herb that it's in it. And quite honestly, we are all very different people. So it allows us to be the most specific. It's also one of the least expensive ways to prepare a medicine, because it's herbs. They come from the earth. So, they're not $500,000 a bottle or a bag. And people tend to, most of the time, they need to take it for a specific period of time that needs to cycle through. So depending on the degree or the severity of what you got going on, then it can take you might be on an herbal formula for just 3 or 4 days if you have an acute illness and you're otherwise usually a healthy person. Or if you've got a major thing going on, like the story from Carlin where she talks about having Epstein-Barr virus, and that's a long journey for us to completely clear her of that and get her body fully back into balance. But she's already feeling fantastic even on just a couple of weeks of those herbs. All right, I hope you've enjoyed this and that you have a fantastic day. This is Good Medicine, and I'm Dr. Cynthia Clark. Have a great day.